Sylvia Plath was born on October 27, 1932, in Boston, Massachusetts. Less than 10 days after Plath's 8th birthday, her father passed away due to diabetes. This event caused Plath to lose her faith in religion for the rest of her life. Plath has said that her first 9 years sealed themselves off like a ship in a bottle. Beautiful, inaccessible, obsolete, a fine white flying myth. During her undergraduate years, Plath began to suffer from severe depression. This depression would become a centerpiece in many of Plath's future works. At the age of 21, Plath attempted to commit suicide by crawling under her house and taking her mother's sleeping pills. She spent the next 6 months in psychiatric care. This care seemed to work, and a few years later she married poet Ted Hughes. 2 days before having her second child, Hughes beat Plath, resulting in a miscarriage. The next year, Plath succumbed to her depression and attempted suicide for a second time by driving her car off the road into a river. A month later, she got a divorce when she found out her husband was cheating on her. In 1963, Plath died of carbon monoxide poisoning while sticking her head in the oven.
I am sober and exact. I have no preconceptions. Whatever I see, I swallow immediately, just as it is, unmisted by love or dislike. I am not cruel, only truthful. The eye of a little god, four-cornered. Most of the time, I meditate on the opposite wall. It is pink with speckles. I have looked at it so long. I think it is part of my heart, but it flickers. Faces and darkness separate us over and over. Now I am a lake. A woman bends over me, searching my reaches for what she really is. Then she turns to those liars, the candle or the moon. I see her back and reflect it faithfully. She rewards me with tears and an agitation of hands. I am important to her. She comes and goes. Each morning it is her face that replaces the darkness. In me she has drowned a young girl, and in me an old woman, rises toward her day after day, like a terrible fish.
Sylvia Plath uses various literary devices to highlight the struggles of aging and the speaker's attitude toward the truth.
The poem is told from the perspective of a personified mirror. It starts by stating how truthful it is. It says how it only reflects what is actually in front of it. The mirror goes on to describe its own situation, saying that it is like a god and is four-cornered. The mirror always faces the same pink wall, except when people come to look at their reflection, so the mirror begins to think that the wall is part of it. In the second stanza, the mirror is all of a sudden a surface of the lake. A woman looks at her reflection in the mirror to find out how she truly looks, but she is unhappy with how she looks because of her age. She stops looking at the lake because the image of herself is upsetting to her. And she looks at herself in candlelight and moonlight because they help hide her true image and she can see herself how she wants to. This shows that the woman has a negative attitude about the truth toward her aging image.
The mirror serves as a symbol for truth when the mirror states that it swallows things just as they are, with no love or dislike. The pink speckled wall that the mirror believes is a part of its heart is a symbol for the woman's femininity, and how even though her appearance changes as she grows older, she will always be the same person. At the end of the first stanza, the tone changes from a dissociative look at her own loneliness to a darker, more helpless tone. This relates to Plath's life because she was lonely as a child, especially following the death of her father. Her loneliness then transformed into depression, similar to how it did in the poem. The woman stares into the lake, looking for truth about her image, but then turns to the moonlight and candlelight, who hide her image and act as liars, hiding her truth. In the line where the woman starts to cry, the truthful tone of the poem is fully revealed. The mirror shows the woman's true image, and the woman's reaction of disappointment to her aging appearance is also truthful. The woman looking at herself in the lake every morning, and how the lake says that she needs it, alludes to Narcissus, who was so obsessed with the reflection of his image in the water that he stared at the image until he died of starvation. However, the key difference is that this woman looks at her image in spite and disappointment, not admiration. The bleak tone of the woman is evident in the line where the woman's face is what takes over the darkness. She wishes that she could look younger, but knows that there is nothing she can do about it.
The woman looks in the mirror every morning and sees that she is no longer a young girl, but an old woman who gets older by the day.